Now, I know the word compliance might not sound as exciting as talking about AI and future trends, but trust me, this is where HRIS is their absolute worth to organizations. Because here's the reality, one compliance mistake can cost your company millions of dollars, damage your reputation, and even result in criminal charges for executives. But here's the good news. A well-implemented HRIS can be your organization's compliance superhero, helping you navigate the incredibly complex world of employment laws, data privacy regulations, and regulatory requirements with confidence and precision. Understanding HR compliance, the complex legal landscape. Let me paint a picture of what HR departments are dealing with today. HR compliance isn't just following a few simple rules, it's navigating an incredibly complex, constantly changing maze of laws and regulations that vary by country, state, industry, and even company size. Think about it this way. If you're running a company with employees in multiple locations, you might need to comply with hundreds of different laws simultaneously. And if you get it wrong, the consequences can be devastating. Let's break down the major compliance areas. Data privacy laws, this is huge right now. We're talking about regulations like GDPR in Europe, CCPA and CPR in California, PIPEDA in Canada, and the new Digital Personal Data Protection Act in India. These laws dictate exactly how you can collect, store, use, and share employee personal information. Employment laws. These cover everything from hiring practices and wage requirements to working hours, discrimination prevention, and termination procedures. In the U.S. alone, we have the Fair Labor Standards Act, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and dozens of others. Benefits administration, laws like HRIS and HIPAA govern how you manage employee benefits, health insurance, and retirement plans. The complexity here is mind-boggling different eligibility rules, reporting requirements, and privacy protections. Payroll compliance. This includes tax withholding, wage garnishment laws, overtime calculations, and reporting requirements that vary by jurisdiction. Get payroll wrong, and you're dealing with tax authorities. Never fun. Record-keeping requirements. Various laws require you to maintain specific employee records for specific periods of time. Some records must be kept for 3 years, others for 7, some permanently, and they all need to be accessible for audits. How HRS becomes your compliance guardian. This is where sophisticated HRIS transforms from a nice-to-have tool into an absolutely essential business protection system. Let me explain how. Centralized data management. Instead of having employee information scattered across spreadsheets, filing cabinets, and different systems, your HRIS creates a single, secure, auditable repository. When regulators come knocking and you can provide accurate, complete information quickly. Intelligent automation. Modern HRIS systems don't just store information, they actively enforce compliance rules. For example, the system can automatically calculate overtime pay according to local regulations, ensure proper tax withholdings, and trigger required notifications for benefits eligibility. Real-time compliance monitoring. Advanced HRIS platforms continuously monitor your HR practices against compliance requirements. They can alert you when you're approaching overtime thresholds, when benefits enrollment deadlines are approaching, or when you haven't completed required training. Comprehensive audit trails. Every action in a modern HRIS is logged who accessed what information, when changes were made, what approvals were obtained. This creates an unbreakable chain of evidence that can protect your organization during investigations. Automated reporting instead of manually compiling compliance. Reports, a process that's time-consuming and error-prone. Your HRIS can generate accurate reports automatically. EEO-1 reports, wage and hour summaries, benefits participation data, all available at the click of a button. Essential compliance features, your HRIS checklist. When you're evaluating HRIS systems or assessing your current platform, here are the compliance features that absolutely cannot be compromised. Data privacy protection. Role-based access controls that ensure employees only see information they're authorized to access. Advanced encryption for data at rest and in transit. Automated data retention and deletion capabilities to comply with right-to-be-forgotten laws. Comprehensive audit logging that tracks every data access and modification. Consent management tools that track and manage employee permissions for data use. Employment law compliance. EO tracking and reporting capabilities that monitor workforce diversity and flag potential discrimination. Issues. Wage and hour management that automatically calculates overtime, tracks break requirements, and ensures minimum wage compliance. Leave management systems that handle FMLA, sick leave, vacation policies, and ensure proper documentation. Performance and disciplinary action tracking that maintains proper documentation for all employee actions. Benefits administration compliance. Automated eligibility management that ensures employees are enrolled in appropriate benefits based on hours worked, tenure, and other factors. COBRA administration that handles continuation coverage requirements. HIPAA compliance features that protect health information privacy. Payroll compliance protection. Multi-jurisdiction tax management that handles federal, state, and local tax requirements automatically. Garnishment management that properly handles court-ordered wage deductions. Regulatory reporting capabilities for unemployment insurance, workers' compensation, and tax authorities. Staying ahead of changing regulations, the never-ending challenge. Here's something that keeps compliance professionals awake at night. Laws change constantly. What was compliant last year might be illegal today. New regulations are introduced, court decisions change interpretations, and regulatory agencies issue new guidance regularly. Your HRIS strategy must account for this reality. Vendor partnership. Choose HRIS vendors that actively monitor regulatory changes and automatically update their systems. Look for vendors with dedicated compliance teams and proven track records of staying current with law changes. Regular legal review. Even with automated systems, you need qualified legal counsel reviewing your HR policies and practices regularly. Technology handles the mechanics, but human expertise handles the strategy. Continuous training. Your HR team needs ongoing education about compliance requirements. The best HRIs in the world won't help if your people don't understand how to. Use it properly. Proactive monitoring. Don't wait for problems to surface. Use your HRIS analytics to identify potential compliance risks before they become violations. Real-world success story, global compliance in action. Let me share a powerful example of HRIS compliance protection in action. A multinational technology company with 50,000 employees across 25 countries was facing a compliance nightmare. Different countries had different data privacy laws, employment regulations, and reporting requirements. They were using multiple HR systems, manual processes, and struggling to maintain compliance across their global operations. The challenge: they faced potential GDPR fines in Europe, CCPA violations in California, employment law issues in Asia, and inconsistent payroll practices globally. The HRIS solution. They implemented a comprehensive, globally configured HRIS with country-specific compliance modules that automatically enforce local laws. Automated data residency. Controls that kept EU data in EU servers. Multi-currency payroll systems with local tax compliance. Integrated audit trails across all operations. Real-time compliance dashboards for legal and HR teams. The results: 0 compliance violations in the 3 years since implementation, $2.3 million saved in potential fines and legal costs, 75% reduction in compliance-related administrative work, complete audit readiness. They passed regulatory inspections in 6 countries with no findings. This transformation shows how strategic HRIS implementation can turn compliance from a business risk into a competitive advantage. The hidden costs of non-compliance. Let me share some sobering statistics that illustrate why HRIS compliance features are worth every penny. GDPR fines can reach 4% of global annual revenue. For large companies, that could be hundreds of millions of dollars. Wage and hour violations in the U.S. alone result in over $200 million in penalties annually. Employment. Discrimination lawsuits average $300,000 in settlements, plus legal costs. Benefits compliance failures can trigger DOL investigations, plan disqualifications, and massive correction costs. But beyond financial costs, noncompliance can damage your employer brand, making it harder to attract top talent and maintain employee trust. Building your compliance first HRIS strategy. Based on everything we've discussed, here's your roadmap for building bulletproof HRIS compliance. Phase 1, Assessment. Audit your current compliance exposure across all jurisdictions. Identify gaps in your existing systems and processes. Catalog all applicable laws and regulations for your industry and locations. Phase 2, System Selection. Evaluate HRIS vendors based on compliance capabilities, not just features. Require demonstration of specific compliance scenarios relevant to your business. Verify vendor compliance expertise and update history. Phase 3, Implementation. Configure compliance rules and workflows from day one. Build comprehensive audit trails and reporting capabilities. Train users on compliance features and responsibilities. Phase 4, Ongoing Management. Monitor regulatory changes and system updates regularly. Conduct periodic compliance audits and risk assessments. Maintain strong partnerships with legal counsel and compliance experts. Key takeaway: HRIS as your compliance insurance policy. Here's what I want you to remember. A compliance-focused HRIS isn't just a business system. It's insurance against catastrophic legal and financial risks. In today's regulatory environment, organizations cannot afford to treat compliance as an afterthought. The laws are too complex, the penalties are too severe, and the risks are too high. But here's the empowering message. With the right HRIS strategy, compliance becomes a competitive advantage. While your competitors struggle with manual processes and compliance risks, you'll have automated systems, real-time monitoring, and bulletproof documentation. Your HRIS can transform compliance from a business burden into a business strength, protecting your organization, empowering your HR team, and enabling confident growth into new markets and opportunities. For HR professionals, understanding HRIS compliance capabilities makes you invaluable to your organization and essential for strategic decision-making. For business leaders, investing in compliance-focused HRIS capabilities protects your company's future and enables confident expansion. For everyone in our increasingly regulated world, understanding how technology supports compliance is essential professional knowledge. The world of HR compliance is complex and constantly changing, but with the right HRIS strategy, you can navigate it with confidence and turn compliance from a risk into a competitive advantage. Thank you for joining me for this critical discussion of HRIS and compliance. In our next lesson, we'll explore practical implementation strategies that ensure your HRIS delivers maximum compliance value from day one. Stay compliant, stay confident, and I'll see you next time.